Hello, and I am making this video because I took AncestryDNA, got this little kit, sent my saliva sample back, and lo and behold, 2 days ago I got my results, and I felt that it was special. So I wanted to reveal the results on here because I recognize that there are a lot of people who are probably contemplating doing this right now or have already done it. And so the purpose of this video is to raise awareness, as well as if there are people who are involved with the DNA that have taken it and have gotten pretty proficient in it, then let's use this as an opportunity to connect. So, and we'll discuss how to do that a little later. So, as I said earlier, I got my results 2 days ago, and here they are. And let's see here. I'm going to shift this around so you can see. If you can see the computer where it says those are my results there. Okay. Alright, so basically it says West African 73%. No big surprise there. British Isles 12% and 11% Scandinavian. And what it indicates is that the genetic ethnicity reveals who your ancestors are, going back possibly thousands of years ago. So West African includes the West Coast, which is primarily where majority of slaves were captured and brought to America as part of the slave trade. And the system also tells me some of the matches who also have West African background, and there are about a dozen of those. Most of those do not have their trees connected to their DNA profile, so I probably will have to find a way to reach out to them. And then let's see, British Isles, which of course includes modern day England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. Which, you know, my name is Carr. I'm sure, you know, I've always thought and known that I had to have some background there. And there are, probably about maybe 50 or so that also shares British Isles ethnicity that are my member matches. And then on the Scandinavian, which are the current countries of Denmark, Sweden, and Norway, there are probably about maybe close to 60 that I share DNA. The other thing that I find very fascinating about AncestryDNA.com is the member matches. And the member matches are people who have already taken the DNA results, and the system indicates that we share DNA on some form or fashion. So the top person is a female, and the system indicates that they're 96% confident that we have a common ancestor, and they indicate that the possible range is somewhere between a 4th or 6th cousin. Now, this is nothing in stone. This is nothing that's guaranteed. AncestryDNA is not saying, well, these people are definitely. It just says that it is very likely that we do have a common ancestor somewhere. And so looking at this person, and I don't know who they are at all. They just have initials. Looking at their family tree, and some of the people that's in their family tree, I'm just taking one at random. And one is from Tennessee. Alright, so that's not too far-fetched. Both sides of my family have family in Tennessee. Let me take just another random, totally random. Alright, well, there's not much known about him, so he's not a good example. So let's see here. Okay, let's take just this gentleman. Alright, well, we have a gentleman that was born in Jackson, in Alabama. Okay, I didn't know I had relatives in Alabama, so alright. So that's pretty interesting right there. This person has a 10 generation pedigree of surnames. They can go back 10 generations. I can't wrap my mind around 3 and possibly 4. So to go back 10 generations, I think is pretty much incredible. And that's really from today, 2013, going back to about the 1650s. That's roughly 10 generations or so. So it tells this person was last logged in today, and at some point I want to send them a message because I'm interested to know how we are connected. Yesterday I got a email on Ancestry.com from one of my member matches, and they wanted me to give them permission for them to view my tree. Well, it revealed to me a couple of things. First, I didn't realize that my tree was private, so I went ahead and made it public. It's a constant work in progress, but hopefully we can try to determine if we have any common ancestors at all. I didn't see any, but they look like they have been at this for a while, and most of these fourth cousins with 280 people in their family tree, 1,200 in their family tree, and then there's one guy that has 26,000 people in his family tree, and Ancestry says that he's probably my fourth cousin. And his ethnicity is split 47 to 44. Now let me go back. The young lady that I got the message from yesterday, she said that I was like the second person on her list. Apparently she must have been European. I was the second person with West African ethnicity that popped up on her list. So she wanted to kind of get a feel, obviously, of why are these people popping up. And so this is pretty interesting, pretty fascinating. And so, looking at this gentleman's tree, I couldn't tell you one way or another. And let's just take one person, just one random person. Okay. He has an ancestor that was born in Fairfax, Virginia, outside Washington, in the 1700s, and they died in southern Kentucky. Well, that's not too far-fetched. All right, that is really not too far-fetched. So once we dig a little deeper, I think we're going to be able to yield some amazing and some very incredible things. And I'm pretty interested in talking to this guy. One of the things about the DNA results is that they will update when they receive new tests. So I know I'm just looking forward to all the changes of new fourth cousins that come down the pike that I haven't, that doesn't appear on the member list yet. And I'm looking forward to talking to some of these people and seeing if, even if we don't have any common ancestors, that they can definitely point me in the direction of some clues of where we come from. In looking at the West African, those who I share West African ethnicity, I absolutely want to connect with them. I do want to find out where in Africa my people are from, or where they came from before they were captured. We know about the African griots who had, their system of knowing about, they can go, you have some of the older men over there that can go 20 and 30 generations, that they can just recite it like that. And that's definitely a testament to, and I think a lot of that was kind of lost once people came here as slaves, because a lot of that wasn't really encouraged. And I know in my parents' and grandparents' generation, you just didn't ask. You didn't ask elders, where do they come from? So those are conversations that we take for granted today, but it just didn't happen 100 years ago. So I am just very fascinated by the results here. No real surprises to me. In one of these trees, I saw that there were some people that were from France, and so I'm very interested in learning about them. I found out that because DNA has split up so much in so many different directions, it's really hard to determine if you who you really are. But I am very, very interested in connecting with fourth cousins as well as fifth cousins. Now, they have a category here for distant cousins. Now, that's people that they are not as confident due to the DNA results that we may be connected. But I'm not going to turn any of them down at all if they want to connect. And I think they can be very useful in providing a clearer picture, of our family tree. I have been working on my family tree for probably 20 years, based on conversations that I had with maybe two of my late aunts. And then I was able to actually do some research, and lo and behold, a lot of the things that I was told, there it is in documents. And this is kind of before Ancestry.com became a big deal, which was not really until like the late 90s. But I was already at it, and I was a one-time griot for one side of my family, and I am still the griot for another side of my family, and generally the go-to person when it comes to family genealogy. And this will enable me to at least be able to answer with a little bit more clarity where we come from and some of our common ancestors. I am blown away because some of the things that we've heard growing up, it doesn't appear to be that way. But I will say that these results are only as good as the people who are taking them. So I encourage you, take the test, get the test. The more people take it, the more accurate the test can be. So I still believe that there is some Native American. It's just that those people with the Native American background, they have yet to take the test. Or if they are on Ancestry, they have not connected their tree to their DNA. So I suspect that once I have more information, once it's updated, because this is a regular, constant process, that I will absolutely update with more videos, because I think this is a two-way process. I think that it's very therapeutic for us to be able to get information, not just information, but to because we're all in this together in terms of helping each other. I watched the AncestryDNA videos, and they're incredible. But I also got a lot of encouragement from various other videos that I saw on YouTube with people revealing their results and that type of thing. So if you have any questions of me, then definitely drop me a message in my comments. If I can be of any service to you, definitely let me know. And I am looking for help as well, because I don't claim, I am taking baby steps in this process like many of you. So if you have any tips or tricks that you think that may be helpful to me in my process, then absolutely, I would be very appreciative of that. So I am going to see if this refreshes, if there's any more matches that comes up. And one thing, okay, it says, let's see, uncertain usually means that you have traces of a specific genetic population that were too low to pinpoint to an ethnicity. And I have 4% in my DNA that just can't be traced anywhere. It can't be traced to Finnish Volga, it cannot be traced to Asian or Australian or Aborigine or so. So that's pretty amazing. And again, like this says, your genetic ethnicity is a prediction of your genetic background. And they take the segments of DNA, they compare them to their database, and one of the most comprehensive collections of DNA samples. People want to know if it's accurate. It goes back hundreds of years. So the people who are both from Africa as well as the British Isles, this is 2013. This is probably the early 1000s. You know, at least the 1200. I mean the year 1100 is what I'm saying. And then the fact that, you know, if you know anything about world history, you know that ethnic groups moved around. You know, you had wars, you had, you know, the collapse of the Roman Empire, the British Reformation, all of that stuff. So ethnic groups did not stay put. They moved around. And so that's how DNA changes, is by virtue of people moving. And I'm fascinated because DNA is really science and genetics. It's probably the only part of science that I ever paid attention to in school, because the rest of that was just dull. I enjoy the social part of it, social science, but I wasn't really interested in the regular basic science, but I really enjoyed about genetics. And this is just the perfect class about genetics right here. So I look forward to being able to talk to as many of you as possible. And until then, take care. And whatever you do, happy searching.